it's kind of a drop in the bucket given what we're still waiting for. So we were told by the county to expect more updates throughout the course of the night. I think the next one's coming in 4 hours or so, and hopefully that will have some more information. But they did warn us that it's quite possible that they won't get through all of these ballots tonight, and we have to wait for more results tomorrow night at 7 p.m. local time, Lindsay.
So that next 4-hour update is not going to be the final. That's going to be the next wave.
We don't think so. They warned us and said it's quite possible and in fact likely that they won't get through all of the ballots tonight. They didn't say it was impossible. So we have 4 hours to work with. They've got a number of machines that can count out 8,000 of these ballots per hour. So they are making progress, but we are just not sure if it's going to have a consequential impact on the state of the race tonight.
With Johnson, our interview, and now we go to Delaware, where ABC's Devin Dwyer is at the Biden campaign headquarters. So, Devin, what's the mood there this hour, and what do we know about what Joe Biden and his campaign are focusing their time on right now?
Hey, Lindsay, they are feeling really good here in Delaware. In fact, staff behind me here at Biden headquarters have smiles on their faces tonight inside this hotel.
Elle s'est cassé la main en jouant dans le jardin.
Drive-in victory rally behind us here. It's a different kind of win for them, and they aren't even declaring victory outright yet, but you can feel it in the air here. You hear it from the aides in these briefings. They are exuding confidence. Publicly, they're saying keep the faith. They're telling their supporters tonight to keep on hope, take a deep breath, hang on to some patience there as these votes are counted. And so much of Joe Biden's message today when he did address the nation late this afternoon was just that. Patience, let every vote count, and we need to heal and unite the country. He has been remarkably consistent on that message through the entire campaign, and we're seeing it through the finish line. Joe Biden knows it wasn't as great a night for Democrats last night as many had hoped, perhaps expected to see, at least in down-ballot races. So if, in fact, he does clinch the presidency here, he's got a difficult task before him with a heavily conservative part of America and an evenly divided America that he's going to have to wrangle. We have been talking about the transition, if it is set into motion, if in fact Joe Biden does clinch 270 electoral votes. His team is waiting in the wings here, and tonight, Lindsay, they did unveil the Biden transition website, buildbackbetter.com. There's not a lot there right now, but they are staking out that territory, perhaps a sign on how confident they are as we wait final results.
And we saw the Trump campaign launch a flurry of legal challenges late today. How concerned is the Biden team about those challenges? And is there any worry at this point about intervention by the Supreme Court and its conservative majority?
Yeah, the Biden legal team is standing by here. In fact, they held a briefing earlier today, Lindsay. They are ready for these challenges. They expect them, but they're in what they've described as a very defensive posture. They say they're here to defend the vote. They know that Republicans are in a very difficult spot, trying to argue against the counting of otherwise validly cast ballots from regular Americans. In fact, you talked earlier to Adam Kinzinger, the congressman from Illinois, who sort of shied away from saying we shouldn't count certain votes. He said they all need to be counted. And so the Biden campaign is laying low on that point, very confident. As for the Supreme Court, they're not worried at all, Lindsay. In fact, they're not fazed by these threats by President Trump or Rudy Giuliani at this hour. They know there has been no really convincing constitutional argument put forward in any court by the Trump campaign that would challenge the legitimacy of any of the results in a real way.
And even as Biden today stopped short of declaring victory with the electoral vote, we do know that he has unquestionably already made history in the popular vote, right?
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about it tonight. He broke a barrier in this popular vote. A lot of people are talking about it. Joe Biden himself mentioned it today. He won the votes of more Americans in this election. That is uncontested.
Ce n'est pas une activité pour les enfants.
50% of people who cast a ballot in this country voted for Joe Biden. And in fact, more than 70 million did so, and that's an all-time record in American history. No president has ever received so many popular votes ever. In fact, he broke Barack Obama's record back in 2008. So Joe Biden at least has that point in his pocket. He was sort of smiling today when he acknowledged that. Certainly something to be proud of. But as we've been talking about, the Electoral College, a very different beast, and it is an uncertain future right now tonight.
All right, Devin Dwyer, thanks so much. And let's go now to Kira Phillips in Washington. Kira, you've been keeping track of the president today, but other than Twitter, we haven't heard from him.
I know, we talked about this earlier, and I have to tell you, I am surprised. When have we not heard from the president in the past 4 years, in the past year, in the past 6 years? I mean, just a day before the election, he was doing 15 rallies in the 72 hours before Election Day, and then radio silent, except for Twitter, of course. But here's what's interesting. Did I just hear a little yawn there?
Oh my
Nancy?
gosh, wow. I'm so sorry. You have eagle ears. Wow.
You know,
need to mute my microphone. It's been a long 24 hours.
Can we just be real here? Can we be real? And you are going much longer than I have. I just started early this morning. You've been going since yesterday.
Nous sommes en danger.
Commentary on what you were saying, Kira. I assure you.
Well, you'll get another kick out of this too. You know, we talk about not hearing from the president. So a few hours ago, gosh, I think maybe it's about 3, almost 4 hours ago, you know, covering the White House, when you're down working in the booth, you wait to hear them call a lid. And when they call a lid, that means, okay, nothing's going to happen. The president's not going to come out. There's no news or nothing's going to happen. You basically have a break, right? So you called a lid, and someone from within the reporter pool sent out this note.
J'ai prévu beaucoup d'activités pour les enfants.
News and results. Your pooler would humbly suggest following the village people's sage advice that we've all heard so much this year. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Basically, everybody at the White House was so thrilled that it was going silent at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So back to asking me, am I surprised that we haven't heard from the president? Yes, but I tell you what, it was a big relief among those at the White House today because there was so much going on. They enjoyed the short break. So what has the president been doing? He's been huddling with all his advisors and his lawyers and talking about lawsuits, and we saw that happen today. Now we're looking at lawsuits in Georgia, which we just found out about an hour and a half ago, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and he has asked for a recount in Wisconsin. And there was a little bit of a hint from his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, when he held that news conference in Pennsylvania talking about allegations of fraud, which, by the way, the governor of Pennsylvania fired back and said, I'm going to fight like hell to make sure every ballot is counted here, and we are not going to stop the counting like you want to do with the lawsuit you just filed. But now that we've seen these number of lawsuits, that's what President Trump is wrapped up in at this point, is that you're going to see lawsuits possibly now in Arizona. If he doesn't like the results that come through on Arizona, as we are waiting, as we just heard from Wed, for that final count, Rudy Giuliani hinted we could see yet another lawsuit. So this is not going to end anytime soon, Lindsay. I think there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights.
A lot more yawns in our future. Kira Phillips, thank you so much. And we'll be right back in a minute with some of the other items on the ballot yesterday that you may not have been aware of. Stay with us.
Faites vraiment attention. Faites vraiment attention.
And your best friend just called you crazy. We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight. Now imagine getting your news like that. No bull, no spin, just give it to me straight. Straightforward news, straight to the heart of the story. ABC News, straightforward.
Right now, with so much at stake, ABC News, with the straightforward, real-time answers, real-time results, what you need to know, with the most powerful and trusted team in politics. The breaking new ABC News special, tonight at 10/9 Central on ABC.
The Americans, you're on the ground in Iraq. 18,000 tons. Ismail? David. Ground zero.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source. Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues, the hunt. True crime, 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Welcome back, everybody. While we're keeping a close eye on the presidential and congressional races, we also wanted to take a look by the numbers at some other 2020 election results. Democrats were hoping for a blue wave in state houses, but only
J'espère que tu ne resteras pas longtemps à l'hôpital.
Since 1946. So it stands at about 60% of the nation's state house chambers are controlled by Republicans and only 40% by Democrats. Voters passed at least 76 statewide ballot measures. They include all 6 marijuana measures, including the legalization of recreational marijuana in Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota. There's one state, Oregon, that voted to decriminalize possession of small amounts of all drugs, including cocaine and heroin. Florida will raise its state minimum wage to $15 an hour in the coming years. And Colorado became the first state to approve paid family and medical leave through a ballot measure. Meanwhile, 58% of California voters sided with Uber, Lyft, and other app-based ride shares and delivery services to classify drivers as independent contractors who are not eligible for the benefits and job protections of employees. And we'll be back in a minute with more ABC News Live as we take a look at the Vote Tabulation Center in Maricopa County, Arizona. Stay with us.
Stand down.
I've been quested to bring this one back to its kind. If I can locate other Mandalorians, they can guide me. This is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes.
The Mandalorian, new season now streaming only on Disney+.
This Montana Highway Patrol looking for a couple missing teenagers.
Demain, il restera chez lui parce qu'il a mal au dos. Demain, il restera chez lui parce qu'il a mal au dos.
Got ourselves a predicament.
Before we go tonight, our image of the day, an election official with a mask and gloves examining a ballot as votes continue to be counted at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. A still photo that captures so much of this incredible moment in time. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. I'll be back in 30 minutes with George, David, and the rest of our powerhouse political team with another election special.
Welcome to Disney Plus. Are you ready? Drop in and explore. The action, the adventure, and the originals. There's no limit to what you'll find. These are your worlds. So come on, dive deeper into the universes you love. Wherever and whenever you want them, you'll find them all here on Disney Plus. Welcome to Disney Plus. Are you ready? Drop in and explore. The action, the adventure, and the originals. There's no limit to what you'll find. These are your worlds. So come on, dive deeper into the universes you love. Wherever and whenever you want them, you'll find them all here on Disney Plus.
Movement tonight in the presidential election. The state of the race at this hour. News from the key states of Michigan and Wisconsin. Late today, ABC News projecting Michigan for Joe Biden. ABC News tonight can also characterize Biden the apparent winner in Wisconsin, getting him closer to 270. President Trump and Joe Biden eyeing their paths to 270 electoral votes, and all along, Pennsylvania. If President Trump can win Pennsylvania, what happens? What will he lead then? How Arizona and Nevada could play key roles. We'll take you through it all tonight. Tom Yamas is standing by. And Joe Biden speaking late today after calling for calm and patience, telling supporters to keep the faith. What he said late today about what he sees in the next few days ahead. Mary Bruce tonight with the Biden campaign. President Trump this evening taking legal action in an effort to stop the counting in Michigan and some of the counting in Pennsylvania. And tonight his team calling for a recount in Wisconsin. John Carl and what he's learning from inside the Trump campaign tonight. And our teams from Wisconsin to Pennsylvania, from Georgia to Arizona, and what we can learn as early as tonight. America Waits, a special edition of World News Tonight, begins now.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It's great to have you with us here on this Wednesday night. A very tense nation still waiting tonight to learn who will be the next president of the United States. So many Americans exhausted by this pandemic, exhausted by these polarized times, and now Americans across this country are being asked for their patience as every vote is counted, and we knew in this pandemic it could take time. There is news coming in tonight on the election. 2 key states now. ABC News can now project former Vice President Joe Biden will win the state of Michigan. This, of course, was a crucial part of Biden's strategy to try to rebuild that blue wall for Democrats. And with 100% of the precincts reporting in Wisconsin tonight, ABC News can now characterize Joe Biden, the apparent winner in Wisconsin. We're being careful with the language because it's a very close race there. Biden appearing to win by about the same margin President Trump won that state 4 years ago. Tonight, the president's campaign now saying it will demand a recount in Wisconsin. So where things stand tonight, former Vice President Joe Biden has now won 21 states and Washington, D.C., 253 electoral votes. President Trump has won 23 states, 214 electoral votes. Of course, this is all about reaching that key number of 270. And Joe Biden leading in the popular vote tonight by more than 3 million votes. Here's the map. You can see the key battleground states there, right there in gray, where it's still too close to call. From Pennsylvania, we go south there to North Carolina and Georgia, then out west to Arizona and Nevada. And you can see the Great Lakes states there, Wisconsin and Michigan, now blue for Joe Biden. We did hear from the former Vice President Joe Biden late today about what he sees in the immediate days ahead. And news tonight from the Trump campaign, now crafting its legal strategy moving forward. But let me get right to the big board again tonight, where it's close, where we're still waiting. Tom Yamas with us again this evening. So Tom, Wisconsin, Michigan for Joe Biden. So where does Pennsylvania stand tonight?
All right, let's dig in a little deeper on Pennsylvania. This is the main battleground we're watching at this hour right now, David. I'm going to blow it up for you, put it here. If you look at this score right now, the amount of electoral votes, there's a spread of about 277,000. So the president has a commanding lead. The problem right now for the president is there's still 1 million ballots that have yet to be counted, right? So you ask yourself, where are those ballots coming from? They're coming from areas where Democrats do really well. The area of Pittsburgh and the suburbs, and the area of Philadelphia and the suburbs as well. That's why Democrats feel they're confident that they can eventually catch up.
And so Trump leading there, but the Biden team saying they can catch up given where those votes are. Both campaigns sounding confident in Pennsylvania. Let's go south, North Carolina and Georgia. The Trump campaign feeling good about both states, but the Biden camp still hopeful in Georgia tonight?
That is right. First in North Carolina, though, David, President Trump does have a lead there. Let's dig in a little bit and talk to you about the numbers again. So when we talk about the numbers here, there is a 58,000 vote difference. It is razor tight in Georgia right now. But here's the problem for the president. There's 200,000 votes that have yet to be counted. Where are those votes coming from? They're coming from the Democratic headquarters. All those counties, that is the Arizona, there's about a 90,000 vote difference. Joe Biden on top right now, but there's still 400,000 votes to go. And this is why the president thinks he may have a chance in Arizona. The problem, it's in Maricopa County right now. Maricopa County is Phoenix. It's one of the largest cities in the entire state is. And so far, Joe Biden has a commanding lead at county.
All right, Tom, you and I have been studying these pathways really for both campaigns. The Biden campaign